If you don't suffer from creative block, are you even a graphic designer? My name is Erin, and I'm going to walk you through my process for how I deal with creative block, which I experience with at least half of my projects that I do for clients. So whether you're a seasoned designer trying to get over this frustrating phase so you can get back to work, or you're a graphic design student trying to come up with ideas for an assignment, this video is for you. And why should you care what I think? Well, I am a formerly self-taught designer turned university professor with 10 years of experience working with clients. Tip number 1, step away from your computer, but only after you finish this video. If you found my video, chances are you are at the point of wanting to slam your head against the keyboard in frustration. The minute my creative block brings me to that level of frustration, it's time to step away from my computer, my phone, and even my sketchbook. Go outside. Get some fresh air. Sometimes just stepping into a different environment will allow you to come back to your work with a different perspective. Allow yourself a minute to drink water and eat a nutritious snack, because sometimes the brain fog that you feel is a result of undernourishment. If you have the time, separate yourself from your project for at least 24 hours. If you don't have that time, at least give yourself a 20-minute stretch break and then move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2. Dig even deeper into your creative process. If you don't have a creative process or have no idea what I'm talking about, then I think I've just discovered the root of your problem. My creative process involves mind maps, mood boards, and thumbnail sketches, starting in that order, but often jumping back and forth between them as the project unfolds. A mind map is essentially an idea map that looks like this. Not sure if you can see it, but whether or not you make a web-like structure like I do, or you just write down a list of all of your ideas, a mind map forces you to brainstorm, so you're not simply relying on your first 1 to 2 ideas for a project. It's all about idea generation. Mood boarding is my favorite part of my creative process. I actually have to set a time limit on it because I love it so much, and if I don't have a time limit, it just turns into procrastination. Mood boarding is simply collecting images to inspire the project. When I was a design student, my professors had me print out 10 to 20 images and paste them on a big piece of mat board or cardstock. Now, as an educator myself, I have my students create their mood boards on websites like Pinterest, Behance, or Dribbble. Pinterest is my personal favorite, and a lot of designers like to hate on it because it's not specifically made for designers. But I find that there's a ton of great ideas on there. If you have mood board website recommendations that you want me to check out, please let me know in the comments. My favorite part of Pinterest is that it allows me to separate my projects into boards, and within each board, you can have different sections. You can also add collaborators to your Pinterest board. So for professional projects, I will add my client to the board and have them add inspiration images and give me feedback on all the ideas that I've pinned. It's written in all my contracts that I won't begin a project until my client has added at least 25 images to our mood board. So that way I have a better understanding of their vision. By the way, this is not a sponsorship, but if anyone at Pinterest is watching this, I could use my first sponsor. All right, and finally, for the creative process, we have thumbnail sketches. I was not raised as an iPad kid, so I am a big proponent of doing all of your thumbnail sketches by hand with a pen or pencil and a piece of paper inside of a sketchbook. Your sketchbook's battery will never die. Your sketchbook doesn't have distracting notifications that pop up and interrupt your process. And if you lose your sketchbook, you're not out $800. Also, I'm just not that great at drawing, and sketching helps me to kind of work on that skill. So anyways, a thumbnail sketch is just a small, quick sketch of your ideas. You don't need to spend too much time on them, and they don't need to be pretty. They just need to provide a visual of some of your ideas to help you solve problems early in the design process. When I was younger, I used a smaller sketchbook. My personal favorite was this Grids and Guides sketchbook that I got from Barnes & Noble. It has several different grids and different grids on each page. Hopefully you can see that isometric grid, which is one of my favorite grids because having isometric designs on your portfolio can trick people into thinking that you're a really cool designer. As I'm getting older, I'm trying to take better care of my eyesight, so now I use this much larger sketchbook. It's a mixed media sketchbook, so it has thicker pages that can hold heavier media like paint or ink. So if I'm struggling with creative block, even if I've already gone through my creative process once, I will dig even deeper into that process, making sure to add ideas to my mind map and add images to my mood board and force myself to just make more thumbnail sketches. Do you have a creative process that you lean on with every project? If so, I'd love to hear more about it, so please let me know in the comments. All right, tip number 3, bring a notebook or note-taking device with you everywhere you go. You never know when you're gonna get an idea that solves all of the issues that you're having in a project. You could be on the bus, out with friends, or at the gym and suddenly have a brilliant idea. And when that happens, you need to remember that idea and record it. So aside from my phone, I also keep a notebook everywhere. I have a notebook on my bedside table, living room coffee table, in my handbag. Write down your ideas so that you don't forget them when you get back to the office. And this leads me to tip number 4, design somewhere different. When those brilliant ideas randomly appear when you're out and about, maybe it's not random at all. Maybe you needed to be away from your design office and let your brain relax a bit so that you could be creative. Make designing fun. Bring your laptop to a coffee shop and have a treat and your favorite latte while you design. Or go to your local library for a guaranteed quiet space. Simply working in a different environment could give your brain the stimulation that it needs to be creative. My last and final tip for you is to look at art and design work that you do not like. Look at design work around your town or go to a local museum and find a piece of art that isn't necessarily your style, and make a concerted effort to stare at it for longer than a few minutes and read the artist statement to better understand why the artist created it. Actually pay attention and ask yourself why you don't like it, and maybe try to find something about it that you do like. I spent 3 years in graduate school analyzing a lot of art and design work that I didn't like. But the more I did that, the more I started to develop an appreciation for artwork outside of my normal taste, especially when I would read the artist statement and form a better idea of the conceptual significance of the work that maybe I didn't see at first glance. This mentality began impacting my own work and allowed me to experiment with styles that I previously hadn't considered or hadn't felt comfortable with. When I was a design student, struggling with creative block felt scary. It made me question, am I even good at design? Is graphic design really for me? Why am I even doing this? Now, as a seasoned designer, I still have those moments of insecurity. But the difference between 19-year-old me and me today is that those thoughts no longer scare me, but they do signal to me that I need to dig deeper into my creative process or even take some time away from the project. I hope this video helped you. I post weekly graphic design tutorials, and I'm just trying to get more comfortable showing my face on this channel, and I'm excited to talk about all things graphic design more than just software tutorials. So if you made it to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button right now, and I will see you next week.